Erev Shabbos, everybody. Let's learn another Maharal. Gracious Genesis 14:18 from Parshas Lech. He said that the reason why, even though we have what the Rashi says later as the Medrash, the homily of it, but the basic idea here teaches us a tremendous lesson, right? Not only our Medrash, but the general is a lot of especially in the Christian world, they like to focus and look at this: a priest bringing bread and wine, which to the Christians points to the Eucharist, and perhaps we might have a similar idea that it's to us it means the korbanos, or it might mean the kiddush and hamoitzi. That we see these as being religious symbols, whatever religion. However, when it comes to what the simple meaning is that this priest, he's feeding the people. He's giving them food because they're hungry and they're thirsty. They just fought a war. And again, that goes back to what we said, that the Targum Onkelos renders Hu Kohen, that he's a priest, not Hu Kahana, that he's a Kohen, but rather Hu Mishamesh, he's a servant. And a priesthood is a servant. Perhaps in the Christian denominations, one has to be a deacon before he can be a priest, right? And the deacon actually in Aramaic is Meshamesh, Mesemes. It's the same idea. He's a servant, diakonos. It perhaps comes from this. I know people don't like me making comparisons to other religions, but I'm speaking in a scholarly sense. Anyway, it's difficult, and also I'm upslugging because even though of course both Jews and Christians and Muslims and all of the religions, we believe in being charitable and kind and helping people who are in need. But so that's part of the priesthood is a servant, is to be a servant. But nonetheless, it's an important message. Anyway, so the Heilige Maharal, he explains that otherwise, why would it mention that Melchizedek brought out bread and wine? Umay nafkamina. What difference does it make? And again, like I said, so the people who are very religiously minded are going to look at it that these are religious symbols. But but it is a deeper thing. First of all, it's showing that he's serving somebody else, but also that he doesn't bear a grudge. That's also a real religious leader, someone who's not bearing a grudge. Midrash Agoda, but then, like we said, the second part of the Rashi indicates that it is a religious symbol. And the Imkain Kasha Yiksha Lecha Lichtef Melchizedek Hoitzi Mazin, because it would have been sufficient to say that he brought out food. Why are we specifying these two types of food and beverage, specifically bread and wine? So why specifically those two? So that's why it's a hint to the libations in the temple in Jerusalem. We came but then the question is, why only these two? Why not meat? because they brought meat, it's sacrifice. So because that's like you sanctify something as a sacrifice and eat them later. But with bread and wine, doesn't look like he's sanctifying something. Meaning, he's bringing out the bread and wine. If he brought out meat, that would be like, this is a sacrifice. Why isn't it being sacrificed? Of course, part of it would be eaten, whatever. But the thing was, at that point, they only, as far as I know, they only had the korban oila. They didn't have a korban shlamim. They only had the burnt offering, not the peace offerings that were eaten. The mishum shekach derech lasis legim l'chama. And also, for people tired from war, you bring them bread and wine. Shekin ksiv al asher lekidmu eschem lechem v'mayim. Deuteronomy 23:5 says that the Ammonites, the Moabites, were punished because they didn't greet us with bread and water. Shemizeh tirsheish laktem lechem v'mayim v'yan hukamayim, that you have to bring bread and water, not necessarily meat. But wine is like water.